Hello, everybody, and welcome back to week 47, tracking our local shifting real estate market here, Burlington, Camden, Gloucester counties, 900,000 below. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. It has been a long year getting up to this point, week 47. Beginning of this week, Monday, our Eagles took down the Chiefs in a wonderful 21-17 victory. Go Jalen Hurts. Yesterday was an awesome day. We got to have our client event, so for anybody that I saw there, thank you for coming. It was great to see everybody. We're so happy to have that event at PJ Wellahan's there in Moorestown for all of our past clients. But we got some important stuff to talk about this week. This is a little bit of a break week for a lot of people, especially for a lot of agents. Does business happen over Thanksgiving break? Absolutely. But just like the rest of you, after Thursday, kind of that Friday, Saturday, we're looking for a little bit of a break too. So looking forward to a little bit of a slow week. Going to be making my way out to Pittsburgh to visit the family of my fiance. But let's chat a little bit here on the homestead about what we got going on, because this turn that we talked about over the last week, really, but we've started to see the beginning spots of it. This is turning into a buyer favorable market. Would I say it's a true buyer's market yet? Probably not. But a buyer favorable market, yes. And here's the reasons why, right? We still see that our total active listings quite high. We've known that for a while. That's been happening as a good trend for 6 to 8 to 10 weeks now. Our ratio of new listings to pending to under contract, it's staying, all of them are under 300. So that's the other part that I would expect to see is through October, we had a couple weeks. Through September, we had multiple. I'm not expecting to see a lot of weeks where either our new listings, our pendings, or our closed are going over the 300 mark. I would expect all those to actually stay under. Okay. Expired, withdrawn, and canceled. It's kind of the middle of the month. I'm not expecting this to be real high. But here's the one stat, and this is why I'm talking about this being a buyer favorable market, is that we tied again for the price reductions. This week, we have 186 price reductions in the market. Okay. That's more than, what is that? 10%, more than 10% of the market is having a price reduction every single week. And we've had 3 of the highest weeks in the past 4 weeks. Just last week was a little bit of an anomaly. It dropped, but 183, 186, down to that 149, 186 again. So we have seen our 3 highest weeks of price reductions this past month. So anyway, we've said that a couple times now. But that's why I'm looking at this as a buyer favorable market, is because there are a lot of sellers who are starting to get nervous that their listing is sitting longer than they would have expected it to have sold, because their neighbor 3 months ago and 6 months ago and 9 months ago sold their property in record time, record price, all that jazz. And they just might not be getting the same action. The other one that's shocking to me is just in these past 3 weeks. I mean, there's a lot of inventory sitting. And from 2 weeks ago, our days on market, right? So we track our average and our median. So our average was 56. Last week, 58. This week, 59. It takes a lot to move an average that much in this short of a period of time. And same thing with the median, 27 to 29 to 30. So, excuse me. So price reduction's really high. Both average and median days on market are starting to tick up, right? And then I kind of had predicted this. The past 2 weeks, we saw a little bit of an increase in our median list price, but they came back down to earth. So we're seeing these list prices that are trying to go up higher, and they're only being followed by the highest price reductions that have to happen all week. So that's a little interesting to me in that favorability standpoint. So what else do I want to talk about this week? Obviously, this has been an important turn that we felt just these past 2 weeks, being a little bit more buyer favorable, and that's good for anybody who's a buyer who's considering, hey, I'm shelving my search for the next couple of weeks until after the New Year's, and I'm going to restart again. We're sitting in a good, pretty picture for you to do that. I would argue the buyers who are going to be able to work here through November and into December, those are the buyers that if anybody's going to get a deal, if anybody's going to get their property maybe slightly below what a perceived market value would be, it's going to be the people who are continuing shopping in these next 4 weeks. We had a small break in interest rates going into the end of the year. We have a lot of price reductions, all the things we just talked about. So if you are a buyer and you're considering this month, this is what I'm kind of impressing upon a lot of my buyers. Like this, you might have an opportunity here to get something that you otherwise would have been outbid on, or it would have been too competitive. So that's all well and good. I want to give 2 final things here, because I don't want to make today our final video before Thanksgiving an overly long one. We've done a ton this year. We've covered a lot of technical aspects. We've covered a lot of theoretical aspects, the buyer process, all the different things. But let's talk about what can you do to be productive here over these next 5 to 6 weeks of the year. let's face it, between Thanksgiving and, kind of the Christmas, the holiday, the New Year time and flipping into January, it's slow. It gets cold here in South Jersey. It's a little bit slow. People are doing holiday shopping. You got family obligations of people coming into town and things like that. So that's all fine. But what can you do as a homeowner to, let's say in 2024, that's going to be a year to make your change? All of those small decluttering, organizing that one closet, putting away the tubs type projects, that's what December's for. You're not going to be going outside and building your raised beds outside. You're not going to be building a gazebo. We're not residing the house at the moment. So all those projects are moot. Focus inside. Focus on decluttering. Here's the concept of why I'm saying decluttering. I think that should be obvious for a lot of us, but you should see the homes that we walk through. It's like people didn't know that their house was being listed. And I understand things come up. Sometimes things happen quickly. Sometimes you're not able to get to everything. And we're realistic to that. People live in these homes that we go to see. But think about the psychology of the buyers who are coming through your home. And here's the easiest way to do this. If these people are unable to handle the stuff I can see, right? Clothes on the floor, it's always dirty, the baseboards are filthy. There's just that corner that's just piled with all these crap cardboard boxes that you keep kind of shoving stuff in the back of the corner and then closing the door. When a buyer walks through that house, they will look for reasons to not like your house because of the way you keep it. This to me is the single best and worst thing about online photos is that online photos, when the home is shown properly, either staged well, vacant, clean, taken with good photos, these homes just sell so much easier than homes that don't do those things. And it's because the buyer is able to see themselves in that home immediately. When a buyer buys a new home, this is them restarting. This is them achieving a milestone. This is them moving up in their life or moving forward with their life. And they want to do so based on a clean line. They want to imagine themselves in that new future, and they want to do so eloquently. If you are here with a filthy home, I don't care if it's the perfect layout, the perfect location, and the perfect price for them with not a lot of stuff to do. If you keep it filthy, they will find reasons not to want your house. And that happens all the time. And I tell people all the time, you're not buying the stuff, you're buying the house, try and see past it. And I can say that till the cows come home. But it still happens. People still will look at photos of a house and say, oh, I don't even want to set up a showing. And I go, but it has everything you want. The people there are just keeping it really dirty. Yeah, I don't know. Organize, declutter. Coordinate things, take a tub of mismatched things, lay it out, group it around categories that you think make sense, and then put it in either smaller, more organized tubs or re-put it back in that tub so that they actually fit. So that's my small little real estate tidbit. But now let's talk a little going forward with our last 2 minutes here. We're at 8 minutes here. I don't want to keep you longer than 10. But I want to give you, all of you people who have been faithfully watching this throughout the course of the year. You may have not caught every video, and I don't blame you. I'm not expecting you to watch every single one, but let's just talk about what's going to happen to this channel going forward. You receive me on either two methods. One, you're a past client of mine or a future client of mine. In my one database of Sphere and family and friends, and I appreciate all of you watching. But you also may not have any idea who I am, or you may be seeing this for the first time because I'm also a realtor, and we have a large database of people that I regularly connect with to give this information to. And my hope is that I present information in a sort of way that makes you feel happy with my competency and confidence in the market and ability to guide you. But economics is only 1/5 of the pie, right? This whole year has just been about the economics. Know your numbers, right? We just want to know from Burlington, Camden, Gloucester County, 900,000 and below, what's going on? What are the trends? How do I need to position myself as a seller? How do I need to offer as a buyer? And how do I do so staying very current and relevant to the market? And that's helpful information. But what else is going to be helpful? Over 50% of my business this year was from referral. I had other agents from all over the country who send me their clients who are moving here, military clients, all sorts of things. I have other my past clients who have sent me business of people, family members, and friends that they work with. So I do a lot to help other people who are moving to this area who aren't originally from this area. So something that I've been doing a lot over this past year is I've recorded hours of videos of what I would consider living local content. So learning all about South Jersey, all the specialty food stores, what is the Patco? What are all the stops on the New Jersey side? What's all the stops on the Philadelphia side? Reading Terminal Market, right? If you're a young professional or someone that's going to be guiding a young professional that's going to live in South Jersey or live in Philadelphia and wants to be able to commute and get the best of what this area has to offer, parks and whatnot, that's what we're going to be doing with that. So that's another addition to the YouTube channel that's going to be going in, is this Living Local series. The other thing that I really want to highlight, and this takes me back to some of the first videos I ever did, was just highlighting the buyer and seller process. So often I meet people who are like, oh, I'm considering purchasing. I said, well, why don't we sit down and talk about it? I'm not quite ready. No, you're ready to absorb the information in the way that you want to absorb it. And most of the time, it's not sitting down with a sales professional because you want to have your questions prepped. You want to have a little bit of head start on what you want to talk about too, so that you're not coming into that meeting blind. And I love that and I respect that. So the other part of what we're going to be doing is probably a 10-part buyer series and probably about a 6-part seller series in terms of what to do. What does the process look like? What are all the different steps? What are all these things that if I can internalize now and prepare for over the next year, over the next 18 months, I can do all these things in accordance with what's actually going to matter. So the buyer and the seller processes are going to be really important too. So the fourth thing that we're going to be adding to the channel as well is called an affiliate vendor section. And that's just basically a fancy word of who else is in this world of real estate when I go to buy my home that's going to be involved. Obviously, the realtor's one, but who else? You have mortgage. So I'm going to be speaking with my loan officers and having them explain their best processes for getting started and all the different tips and tricks. Our title company, and having somebody from there chat and go through what do they look for at title, or what are the things that you can do. Home insurance, home warranty, plumbers, electricians, basically, anybody that has to do with your home. I want to go through an interview style with all of them and break it down, hear from the experts, hear from a realtor and the electrician's perspective of what are the things that I can do before I get my home ready for list. What are the big things I need to be worried about looking at a home as if I'm a buyer that comes up on my inspection report. So we'll have a whole nother section about the entire world of real estate and all those people that plug in. And then the final section is really a financial readiness section. I went, and this is where we're going to end. And we went over our 10 minutes, of course. I went to school for finance, and that's not a brag. That's what I did. But I didn't go into the financial sector. I didn't take my Series 7s. I didn't go become a stockbroker. I didn't go do investment banking or anything like that. I chose real estate because I love real estate. But I recognize that while I help you find your castle, it's the financial sector that's going to help you protect your castle, build the moat around it, as it were. So I've already done a handful of interviews. You can find them on the YouTube channel now, but with a Northwestern Mutual rep talking about what about life insurance, disability insurance, Roth IRAs, 401ks. What are the different financial instruments I can use that once I get in that home, I spent 2 years really working hard and getting my credit good and getting my finances good to get inside of this house. How do I protect it? What happens if I get in a car accident tomorrow, right? Because that happened to us, right? My fiance was 9 months out of work, 5 days after we bought our house. That was hard. It was hard for us to make that work, but we did. But I don't want you to have to go through those same issues. So economic, living local, the buyer and the seller processes, all of those affiliate vendors and the people in the world of real estate, and then also a financial readiness program. So here's the goal. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I want this YouTube channel and I want these messages to you to become a one-stop shop for all your needs in real estate. For the large, colorful world that is real estate, I want you to be able to come here, read, educate yourself, be able to share this content out with the people that you care about. Because as I say in all of these emails, the point of these series is to make sure that you, your family, and your friends are well educated to make some of the biggest, most informed decisions that you're going to have to make in your life in a time when things are changing considerably. Let's track together. Let's win together. Let's succeed in life together. Everybody, have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to end the video here, and I'll talk to you next week.